We continue Pac-12 Media Day from Las Vegas, and it's great to have our new coach in the league this year.
He's going to be fired up. We know that.
Mark Madsen, head coach of the Cal Bears. It's time to talk about Cal. Welcome, Coach.
Go Bears. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you.
There you go.
How are things going? Year one at Cal. Catch us up.
Well, we've had a phenomenal summer of just workouts. You know, we get the 4 hours during the summer months, and then we get the 20 hours starting, you know, in early mid-September. And our guys have been going hard. They've been learning the system, and it's been awesome. It's been a great experience, and I'm incredibly excited about our team this year.
I was kidding just now, but you know, things haven't gone great at Cal the last few years. We know that. But could it be, Mark, and I've known you for a long time, your energy, enthusiasm, your effort, is that kind of what Cal basketball needed?
Well, I'll say this. I mean, it was a tough year last year for Cal, but it's not like there wasn't a lot of work going on behind the scenes. We're probably benefiting right now from a lot of the work, just even in terms of infrastructure and a lot of things like that, that honestly administration of Mark Fox worked really hard on last year. Now we're bearing the fruit of it this year a little bit. And then as a new staff, we're coming in, we're trying to inject even more energy, you know, even our own version of energy to help get this thing to an even higher level. And so I've never been more optimistic, and I love our team. I love all the changes that have happened. The Cal administration has stepped up in a major way, and I love what our staff and our players are doing.
We're going to kick it over to Jesse here, and he'll take you some questions from the media.
Yep.
Okay, we've got a couple on the right. We'll start with Ben in the second row.
Okay.
Ben Balch, Los Angeles Times. Coach, nice to see you again. For those of us from Los Angeles who remember you on the stage with the Lakers after a championship, have you broken out any of those moves yet? And what's it going to take for your guys to see those?
Well, Ben, first of all, great to see you again. Great to see you. It's always nice to see old friends from LA. And I absolutely hope to be dancing. I think if we can get to, anytime we get to the Sweet 16, I will be dancing. You know, and I want to reiterate, we have lofty goals. We're not trying to just win it, you know, we have lofty goals coming in. And so that's part of the excitement that I feel. And, you know, you look at our personnel, I think we're the team that a lot of people don't want to play this coming year. Other coaches, they can see what we've done, they can see the personnel, they can see the players. And other teams are not going to want to play us, you know, because we're going to play hard. We're going to play with great energy. We're going to be sound in terms of our coverages and in terms of our how we attack teams. And look, as a coach, we all know it's never perfect, but we're going to go hard at this thing.
We got two media questions. We're going to start on my right in the second row.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Mark, you were a great player, you know, at Stanford, and you've got a history in this conference. What is your take on this being the last year of the conference and moving forward?
I'm incredibly sad about it. I'm incredibly sad about the breakup of the Pac-12. And, you know, in the back of my mind, there's always the hope, you know, 20 years from now, 15 years from now, things don't work out with some of these other conferences and it gets put back together in some way. But that's the reality we live in, and we're still going to be able to embrace it. And where some doors close, other doors will open. You know, and I'm sure a lot of these West Coast rivalries, even though we're in different conferences, I mean, a lot of us are still going to try to find a way to play each other and keep some of those rivalries going, even though it's not in the same conference. But moving forward, you know, just moving forward with, you know, we're in the ACC next year. And the ACC has always been a phenomenal basketball conference. Already in recruiting, it's been phenomenal to talk about the ACC because we can talk about having a West Coast presence, we can talk about having an East Coast presence. The travel is going to be tough, but we're already looking at creative ways to help mitigate some of the effects there.
We go on my left in the second row.
Eric Harpetian from the Daily Californian. Coach, you know, it's been mentioned that you've taken over a team that's coming off its worst season in history. What's been the mindset? You mentioned the underdog mindset, but can you go further into that and how you're going to use that to compete with the powerhouses of the Pac-12 this year?
Yeah, the great thing about playing a game is that, you know, all the experts can weigh in and try to pick who's going to win, Vegas can make their line and all those things. But when it's all said and done, every team still has to play in the game. Every team is going to have to chase our shooters around on the court. Every team is going to have to deal with our physical and tough inside players, posting up, sealing, rolling to the basket. And so, at the start of every season, it's such a great thing because the media will pick the winner, they'll pick the all-conference team, but then even a guy that's picked first team all-conference, he still has to go out there and prove it every single night. And so the word I would use for Cal is grittiness and toughness. And again, I'll reiterate that, just as a coach, there's certain teams you just don't want to play them. We're that team. Teams are not going to want to play us because we have a lot of weapons. We have a lot of ways to attack another team.
Okay, we've got one more media question, then we'll go back to Guy. Front row on my right.
Hey Coach, Robbie Whittle, TV8 Vail. You took Utah Valley to new heights over your time there. How do you think that will help prepare you, rebrand this struggling Cal program?
Well, over the course of the 4 years at Utah Valley, there was growth and improvement every single year. And we had some great successes. We had some tough losses along the way. And you almost learn more from a tough loss than you do from a great win. Because there's that pain. You feel that pain. And then you look at what went wrong. You relive it, you watch the tape, and then you say to yourself, okay, this is never going to happen again. And then you try to put the systems and the philosophies in place so that it doesn't happen again. But that experience, especially in the WAC, which the WAC is different than the Pac-12. A lot of teams in the WAC, it's a lot of little guys running around on the perimeter. And so you have to learn how to deal with that style, along with, traditional teams that play two big guys as well.
Speaking of style, Mark, how are you guys going to play?
Want to play fast, great ball movement, and unselfish play. We want to have great spacing. But we definitely want to play at a much faster pace than has been accustomed to, and we want that ball to move, to fly around.
I want to ask you about Fardaz Amak, who was a great player for you, Utah Valley, two-time WAC Defensive Player of the Year, won the Player of the Year award preseason. This time last year was preseason All Big 12. Mm-hmm. Goes to Texas Tech, only plays in 11 games because of injuries. So where is he, and what do you think about reuniting with him?
It was awesome to reunite with Fardaz. Obviously, we've had a strong relationship for 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5 years now, actually. But Fardaz is completely healthy, and he's worked hard to be in phenomenal shape. The year at Texas Tech last year was kind of an aberration year because of all the injury, because of that adversity he went through. But he has been fantastic with the team. He's been fantastic in practices, and he's going to have an extremely strong year this year in the Pac-12.
It's interesting, Mark. It's a cool story, and it's not a cool story to me. It's a cool story in the sense that you coached him up, he had tremendous success, he left, and then he comes back to you at a different school. The part that isn't cool is why he had to leave it all, right? And why players leave programs now, enter the portal. It's not for basketball, it's for other things. So to me, we can celebrate this story, and it's great for you to get him back because he's a productive, good player. But it just kind of says a lot about the state of affairs in college basketball right now, too.
Don, you played in the NBA, you played high level at UCLA. I mean, back in the day, everybody stayed 4 years. Now it's 1 year free agency every single year. The difference between college and the NBA is, and you said it on your broadcast, in the NBA, you can put players under contract. In college, it's free agency every single year. Every single year. And so that's good for the players.
Yeah.
At times, but it does make it, it's almost like you're coaching a G League team in terms of all the movement.
Well, one thing that's created this as well is you guys have to recruit the portal harder than high school players now, which is way different than it used to be.
Yeah, no, it is. It used to be you had that lull in April, May. Coaches had a little bit of a downtime in April, May. And now there's no downtime. That March, April time frame hits, you're on a plane flying around to visit players. You're burning up your Verizon cell phone plan. You're doing all that.
I mean, no one's asked you yet, maybe because it feels like old news already, but it's probably you'll be asked again about it. When was the last time you put on a Stanford t-shirt?
Well, it's funny. The first.
I got one in my bag, Mark.
Casey Jacobson has a Stanford shirt in the bag.
Casey's got his
always
uniform.
prepared.
Casey's got his uniform in there too in case the game breaks out.
Well, I saw Casey. I said, Casey, you're still in phenomenal shape. Looks like you can still play a 40-minute game. I'm not quite there, Casey.
Not for Cal. I can't play for Cal.
No, yes you can. Yes you can. the first couple of days at Cal, seeing all the blue was an adjustment, but I've embraced it. I love it, and obviously I love my alma mater. I love my friends and teammates from there, and I'm a Cal Bear now, and I'm excited to put all my energy there.
What impact has Mike Montgomery had on you as a coach?
Huge. Mike Montgomery, obviously Casey played for Mike. Mike was someone that demanded perfect or near flawless execution. Every set that Mike ran, it had a primary option, a secondary option, and multiple counters. And so everything we did was so fundamentally sound, and the level of repetitions was huge.
What's interesting about that, Mark, and you guys aren't that old, you and Casey. I'm a little bit older than you guys, but I think back to that, and I wonder about former players who are now coaches that played in the 90s or the 80s even, like me. How much can you take from when you played in college? Because the game has changed and evolved so much since then. Like, I think about if anybody tried to run the UCLA high post offense right now, it wouldn't work. Defenses are too sophisticated now. So I guess my question to you is, how much of that stuff, to Guy's point, have you taken from how you played in college and can implement it now to what you're doing?
Well, I think one of the biggest things I take is that the game has absolutely changed. It's all about spacing.
Yeah.
It's all about opening up the shooting, rolling to the basket to create pressure on the rim. But all that being said, the principle of have a set and have multiple different things you can do out of that set. Have multiple different counters. That way, defense, if they look out there and if they see a certain set, they have no idea what you're going to do. And so that, I think, carries over. The style of play, very different.
We're going to bring up your players here. If you could give us a thought on Keonte Kennedy and Grant Newell, and getting to know them the last several months.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me start with Grant. Grant is great. Grant just brings a toughness. Oh, they're coming up right now. What's up, guys? What's up, Keonte?
Scared you.
Grant is someone who just, even if he brings that Chicago toughness. He's not afraid to back down from anybody. He's been one of our best guys in terms of attacking the basket and getting to the free throw line, and he knocks down his free throws every time. He stretches it to the three-point line. He runs. He can handle. He can initiate the offense. And Grant's just in addition to being just a phenomenal basketball player, he's a tremendous person. And so it's been great to get to know Grant. Keonte Kennedy, my man right here. Keonte, I tell the team over and over again, I say, guys, 95% of the time, Keonte Kennedy is, when we identify the other team's best perimeter player, it's going to be one guy who's guarding him, Keonte Kennedy. Why? Well, number one, because he has great technique, he understands angles, he studies the game. But then, number two, you can't measure the size of his heart, the level of his toughness, the character. He's not afraid to have fun. We're running a conditioning drill, and he's yelling at the camera, we play in the hospitality. He's calling it the house of pain. He's putting that out there right now publicly. And that's, yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. But these two players are a reflection of really all the players on the team, but each young man here extremely special, extremely unique, and we're lucky to have them.
Coach, we'll let you slide out and we'll talk to your players.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it.
All right, so we got House of Pain and we got Newell Court, no relation. But it's great to see you guys. Welcome. Grant, since you were on the team last year, let's start with you. What's it been like to get to know Mark Madsen as your new head coach?
It's been great. A really energetic, enthusiastic guy. Great hands-on approach. Teaches me, the rest of my teammates, a whole lot about the game that we're going to need down the line.
Since you're new, Keonte, I'm going to ask Grant this. How much carryover from last year and the disappointment of your season is there this year? Or did you just flush that? We got a new coach, new system, new everything. We're not thinking about that. We're just moving on. Or did it motivate you getting into this year?
Yeah, of course it motivated me, but for the most part, definitely flushed that all out. We're just focused on what we have coming this season. We're really, really excited about, all the pieces we have from staff to players, everyone.
Keonte, you're from Austin, Texas?
Yes, sir.
Compare Austin and Berkeley.
It's different, but there's also some similarities too. Just that, I don't know, it's different dynamics, but it's similar in its own way. If you just gotta be there to see it. But I like both. I love both for what they are. And that's one thing I've been trying to value, just appreciate everybody and places I've been for who they are and what they are.
By what Mark Madsen, are we going to questions?
Yeah, but go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, Keonte, based on what Coach Madsen just said about you, obviously likes you and you made an impression here early. It's your fourth school in 5 years. How experienced are you now in implementing yourself into a new system and having an impact right away? Because you've done it before.
Just being who I am. I'm energetic. I'm always going to bring a positive vibe. So I think that's something I can always carry to no matter what team I'm on. And then, like he said, I'm a defensive player first. I can play on both ends, but I pride myself in defensive. And that's where we win championships.
I will have some more questions for you, but we'll have some questions from the media first. We'll get it over to Jesse.
Okay, if anybody has any questions, please raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone. On my left in the second row.
I have a question for Grant. Eric Harpetting from the Daily Californian. Being on the team last season, as mentioned, how do you see, and then you're entering your sophomore campaign now, how do you see your improvement over the offseason, and what kind of leadership role do you see yourself having on this new look Bears team?
One thing that I've been working on ever since last season ended was my three-point shot, fixing my shot mechanics. Been working day in, day out, every single day, taking a lot of shots. Also, leadership-wise, I feel like I just can lead by example. Not really a whole lot of a big vocal leader, but, things I do on the court, the shows speaks for itself.
Grant, a question for you about Keonte. I was watching some, you guys post a lot of videos. Your social team posts a lot of videos from practice, which is cool. And Keonte was mic'd up, and he was extremely positive, getting everybody hyped up for practice. What's it been like to have a new player come to a team who's as vocal and I would say, has as many leadership qualities as he has?
I think that's it's a big important piece to have for a team. Really, really energetic, all over the place, offensively and defensively. High energy guy. And one thing that Coach Madsen always tells us, and the rest of the staff, is that the best teams are player-led, and we need things like this.
Keonte, where does being a defensive guy come from? When did you decide that's who you were?
Actually, I have a little story. So growing up, I always played for my dad, and I was a shooter. And he was just like, when your shot's off, you gotta find something else to do. And it just clicked on me in high school, and started defending. And I realized the impact I had on my team. Just got the crowd going, got us going, get us in transition. A lot of teams I play for play fast, and we're athletic, so we have to get on the rim. So I think that's where it came from. It's just heart really just inside, and just stopping the other players, best players. So.
He's new to the league, so we obviously haven't seen him. But talk about Fardaz and just his numbers, or when he was at Utah Valley, were eye-popping. How good of a rebounder is he?
Phenomenal, elite.
How? Physical, long jumps.
He's strong. He's athletic. He just has that it. He knows where the ball's coming off. He studies the game. I think he watches our jump shots. Like, he's really intuitive on where the ball's gonna go, and he's just so strong and just overpowering.
How's it been to deal with him, Grant?
He's for sure a problem. He's probably one of the strongest guys I ever played in my college experience so far. Also, in my life, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna do us a lot down the line.
What was your freshman year? I mean, you start 28 games last year. What was it like to play that many games, to start that many games? And as the season went on, was there fatigue? Did you have to battle any of that? And what have you done this offseason to build off last year?
Well, it was really good, get a lot of experience, despite, the results that we had, last season. And, it was for sure, some fatigue that came with it. But, took care of all of that this past offseason, cleaning up all the things I need to keep getting better as a player.
Last year, Grant, you guys played a really lower possession game because you felt like you had to. When you're the lesser team, you want less possessions. So you guys played really slow, and it sounds like Mark just said you guys want to play really fast. So how different was it from last year to this year in terms of style of play?
Oh, it's a big difference. We're playing. One thing I can say is we play a lot faster. We're going to play a lot faster. You know, it's really exciting, and you know, we like it too.
From your perspective, Keonte, what has that pace been like since it sounds like more possessions the better for you on defense?
Absolutely. We want to put up numbers. We want to play with a fast pace, and it's been fun. It's fun seeing everybody get out and run. We're playing with freedom, playing with space, and it's really unselfish basketball. And it starts from our defensive end, and so I can hang my hat on that, and I'm the anchor for that.
Have you guys gotten yourselves in great condition for that?
Yeah, 100%.
Because players always say that they want to play fast. It's harder to play fast because you got to run more. But if you guys are in great shape, yeah, players want to play faster.
Miami Heat drill. We all had to do that. I know y'all have heard the stories.
I played in Miami. The preseason conditioning test, the 5'10s.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Explain that to us here real quick.
Honestly, for me, it was easy. There's probably a video of me like running backwards at the end of it.
Did he allow you to bank time?
They did.
Yeah.
And for me, I thought we were doing 10 of them. So I'm like running, I'm like, I'm gonna get all this in my bank for the last 5. Cool. We get done. One of our assistant coaches, Maz, he's like, this is the last one. I'm like, all right, at the set. So I get that. He's like, we're done. I'm looking around like, we're done? So it's actually kind of fun. I was able to get there with my teammates with the second group and push them to finish through. We're really like team atmosphere, but conditioning-wise, we're going to be in great shape as a team.
Good.
Guys, good luck this year. We appreciate it. There's the Cal Bears. We'll continue here for Media Day next.